The recent wave of layoffs at General Motors has sent shockwaves through the auto industry, especially in North America. For many, the news came suddenly, leaving workers and their families reeling from the uncertainty. The impact of these layoffs extends far beyond the factory gates, touching the lives of thousands who depend on the auto sector for their livelihoods. Workers, families, and entire communities have been hit hard by these sudden job cuts. The loss of a steady paycheck means more than just financial strain. It brings anxiety about the future, worries about paying bills, and the emotional toll of losing a sense of purpose and stability. Children feel the stress at home, and local businesses suffer as spending drops. The layoffs come as the industry shifts rapidly toward electric vehicles, creating uncertainty for automotive employment. As automakers race to develop new technologies, traditional manufacturing jobs are disappearing or evolving, leaving many workers unsure if their skills will be needed in the future. The transition to EVs promises innovation, but also brings disruption for those unprepared for change. In the US, hundreds of workers have lost their jobs, deeply affecting towns where GM plants are economic lifelines. When a factory closes, the ripple effects are felt everywhere, from local diners and shops to schools and public services that rely on tax revenue. Entire communities are forced to confront an uncertain future, with some fearing their towns may never recover. Canada, however, has taken a different approach, implementing proactive measures to protect auto sector jobs. By investing in retraining programs, supporting innovation, and working closely with automakers, the Canadian government has helped shield workers from the worst impacts of industry upheaval. These efforts have provided a sense of hope and stability for many families. This contrast has sparked debate about the effectiveness of government intervention. Some argue that strong policy support is essential to help workers adapt and keep industries competitive, while others question how much governments should intervene in the market. The conversation is ongoing, with passionate voices on both sides. In the US, many blame a lack of strategic policy support for the crisis, pointing to missed opportunities to invest in new technologies and worker training. Union leaders and community advocates are calling for urgent action to prevent further job losses and to help workers transition to new roles in the evolving industry. While in Canada, recent efforts have preserved thousands of jobs, workers there have seen firsthand the benefits of coordinated action between government, industry, and labor groups. These measures have not only saved jobs, but also fostered a sense of resilience and optimism about the future of the auto sector. The contrasting experiences of the US and Canada highlight the critical role of leadership and policy in navigating industry disruptions. As both countries face the challenges of a changing global economy, their choices will shape the future of work for millions of people. As the auto industry moves toward an electric future, these lessons are more important than ever. The path forward will require innovation, collaboration, and a commitment to supporting workers through change, ensuring that no one is left behind as the industry reinvents itself for a new era. In Canada, Mark Carney, former governor of the Bank of Canada, has become a key figure in the auto industry's response to crisis. Carney's bold intervention helped save around 4,000 auto jobs, earning praise for his decisive leadership. He worked closely with industry leaders and government officials to secure continued investment and production commitments. This proactive approach stabilized the sector and prevented further layoffs. Carney's deep understanding of economic dynamics and negotiation skills were crucial to this success. His actions have set a new standard for how targeted policy and leadership can protect jobs during industrial upheaval. Carney's story is a powerful example of how swift, strategic action can safeguard livelihoods. The story of GM layoffs in North America is more than just a tale of job losses. It's a revealing look at how two neighboring countries responded to a major challenge in the auto industry. The decisions made by governments and companies shaped the fate of thousands of workers and the future of entire communities. When faced with the same economic pressures, Canada and the US took very different approaches to supporting their auto sectors and workers. These differences had a profound impact on the outcomes for employees and the industry as a whole. In Canada, the Kami assembly plant in Ontario saw only 79 workers laid off, a relatively small number considering the scale of the industry. This was largely due to strategic interventions, including targeted government support, collaboration with unions, and a focus on retraining workers for new roles in the evolving electric vehicle market. The plant's shift to producing bright-drop electric vans helped keep operations running and preserved most jobs. This transition was not just about new products, but about investing in the future of Canadian manufacturing and ensuring workers could adapt to changing technology. In contrast, the US faced a harsher reality. At GM's Factory Zero in Detroit and Hamtramck, 200 workers lost their jobs as demand for electric vehicles slowed. The layoffs were a blow to workers and their families, and signaled deeper issues within the American auto sector. Without strong, coordinated policies to support the transition to electric vehicles, the U.S. industry was left more exposed to market fluctuations. Workers faced uncertainty, and entire communities felt the ripple effects of these job losses. The situation was made worse by the expiration of the federal EV tax credit under President Trump, which reduced incentives for consumers to buy electric vehicles. This policy change not only hurt sales, but also put additional pressure on manufacturers and workers. Canada's ability to limit job losses and support its workers demonstrates the power of proactive government action, forward-thinking policies, and strong partnerships between industry and labor. The U.S. experience stands as a cautionary tale, highlighting the risks of policy inaction and the importance of preparing for industry transitions before they become crises. The expiration of the federal EV tax credit in September 2025 marked a dramatic turning point for the U.S. auto industry, sending shockwaves through manufacturers, dealerships, and consumers alike. For years, this tax credit had been a crucial driver of electric vehicle adoption, making EVs more affordable and helping the U.S. keep pace with global trends in clean transportation. Its sudden removal left many buyers reconsidering their options, and the industry bracing for impact. Under President Trump, this policy shift eliminated a key incentive for electric vehicle buyers, causing a sharp and immediate slowdown in the EV market. Dealerships that once saw steady interest in electric models now face dwindling foot traffic, and charging stations in some areas sat unused. Major automakers like GM and Rivian experienced significant drops in sales almost overnight, with fewer customers willing to pay higher prices without the tax break. These companies were forced to make tough decisions, including scaling back production and laying off workers to cut costs. Rivian, a company that had been rapidly expanding, was hit especially hard. The contraction of the market led to multiple rounds of layoffs, halted expansion plans, and left many employees uncertain about the future. The end of the tax credit exposed just how fragile the U.S. EV sector was without ongoing government support. Dealerships struggled to move inventory, and assembly lines that once buzzed with activity fell silent. Critics argue that this decision not only stalled the U.S. transition to electric vehicles, but also allowed other countries, like those in Europe and Asia, to surge ahead by continuing to offer robust incentives and support for their own EV industries. The U.S. case is a powerful example of how government policy can make or break emerging industries. As the world moves toward cleaner transportation, the choices made by policymakers will continue to shape the future of the American auto industry for years to come. The contrasting outcomes in the U.S. and Canada highlight the impact of policy and leadership on auto industry jobs. In Canada, coordinated government action and Carney's leadership protected thousands of jobs and set a framework for future challenges. In the U.S., policy inaction, especially the loss of the EV tax credit, led to significant layoffs at GM and Rivian. These experiences underscore the importance of aligning policy with industry needs during times of change. Canada's approach ensured a smoother transition, while the U.S. struggled with job losses and market instability. The lessons are clear: leadership and policy shape industry outcomes. As the auto sector evolves, informed action is essential to protect workers. The auto industry is undergoing a historic transformation, driven by the shift to electric vehicles and new technologies. Automakers must invest in EV infrastructure, supply chains, and advanced batteries, all while managing workforce changes. This transition demands significant capital and strategic planning, often requiring government support. As production evolves, workers need new skills, making reskilling and upskilling crucial to avoid job losses. Policies supporting innovation, infrastructure, and training are vital for a smooth transition. The U.S. and Canadian experiences show how government action can make a real difference in industry outcomes. The U.S. and Canada's responses to auto industry layoffs reveal the power of leadership and policy in shaping workers' futures. In Canada, decisive action and Carney's leadership preserved jobs and set a model for effective governance. In the U.S., the lack of supportive EV policies led to significant job losses, highlighting the risks of policy inaction. The expiration of the EV tax credit is a cautionary tale about how government decisions can reshape entire industries. As the auto sector continues to evolve, strong leadership and aligned policies are more important than ever. The lessons from North America offer a roadmap for navigating future industry challenges. Ultimately, collaboration and foresight are key to supporting workers through times of transformation.